Less than 24 hours ago, the notification was sent out to a lot of people through the KDP community tab that there is some change that's coming here to the KDP platform. So if you happen to be an account holder through Kindle Direct Publishing, now is the time that you should probably pay the closest attention to, because it can very much impact your account in a negative way. Now, some people will look at this as positive news, and those that will also look at it as negative. I really see that there is at least some progress happening here. In the world of artificial intelligence, things have gotten a little bit out of hand, but let's take it one step at a time, because there are so many things for us to take in here. And I also have a little bit more information beyond what has been made publicly available through the community tab over on KDP. So if you are not familiar, artificial intelligence, you'll hear generative AI, artificial intelligence, if you will, that will create things like text, that will create things like images and translations of some capacity. Well, unfortunately, there have been a lot of hype beasts out here in the world of YouTube and beyond that really want to just really make it all dead simple. You just go ahead and put in a bunch of prompts, and then you'll be able to publish books and make money hand over fist publishing artificial intelligence generated content. And I've really been a very big pro AI person when it comes to using assistance through AI, but not generating the content itself. However, I can understand where some people probably could see value in that, because you could be able to, in theory, create AI content, and you could be able to go through and edit that content so it's a bit more readable. And you can make it to where it is like any other book out there. However, there are a lot of ne'er-do-wells out there, bad actors, that they don't care. They just want the money. All they've been told and led to believe is it's just, this is the business that you're supposed to do. AI is the way to go. Well, Kindle Direct Publishing's had enough. And I'm going to share just a little bit of why they've had enough here in a little bit, but let's just talk about some of the issues and such firsthand. What is the content guidelines that you need to be aware of? So let's switch on over here to the view here of the dashboard. This is through the Kindle Direct Publishing community tab. By the way, all the links are going to be inside the description down below here, folks. We are actively monitoring the rapid evolution of generative AI and the impact it is having on reading, writing, and publishing, and we remain committed to providing the best possible shopping, reading, and publishing experience for authors and customers. To that end, beginning today, that was yesterday, when you publish a new title or make edits to and republish an existing title through KDP, you will be asked whether your content is AI generated. Learn more about how we define AI-generated content. Just a side note, we're going to go into what that is here in just a minute, because a lot of people keep missing it in the KDP content guidelines. As always, whether publishers make use of AI technologies or not, all books in our store must adhere to our KDP content guidelines, including the requirement that you accurately inform us when content is AI generated. We will continue to keep the interests of our authors, publishers, and readers at the forefront of our thinking and decision making. Thank you for being part of the KDP community. So, to be honest with you, I really see this as a way to save face. It is a PR move, because it is becoming an absolute disaster. And Amazon's not looking good with the egg that's on their face because of these folks that are flooding their marketplace with just garbage, straight garbage. And you'll know why I say straight garbage here in a second. So if you happen to be the type of person that's using AI content generation, solely just using artificial intelligence to publish your stuff, calm down, relax, all right? I'm not attacking what you're doing. I don't agree with it, but in the same instance, you need to put yourself in the shoes of other publishers out there, other authors that are going into this business because they want to be here for the long term. They love this business. They're about this business. I obsess about this business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, probably more than anybody should for any niche type content like this. And the fact of the matter is, I plan on sticking around here for a long time. Those folks that are trying to milk the Amazon teat dry of all the money by putting out churning garbage onto the marketplace, the trash will walk itself out. And if you are the type of person that is just churning out garbage for garbage sake without even putting any thought into it, shame on you. Let's go ahead and look at what they mean by AI generated, because there's actually a distinction between AI generated and AI assisted, because there are authors out there like myself who use AI assistants. So let's go on over into the next piece here. When it comes to the new content guidelines, folks, make sure that you get yourself familiar with this. If you scroll down, you'll see there is a new section on artificial intelligence. Let me go ahead and just zoom in on this one here so everybody can see this. We require you to inform us of AI generated content that includes text, images, or translations when you publish a new book or make edits to and republish an existing book through KDP. You are not required to disclose AI assisted content. You see that? Very important distinction. We're going to kind of explore what is that distinction between generated and assisted, because there's a huge difference. We distinguish between AI generated and AI assisted content as follows. AI generated. We define AI generated content as text, images, or translations created by an AI based tool. If you used an AI based tool to create the actual content, whether text, images, or translations, it is considered quote unquote AI generated, even if you applied substantial edits afterwards. Now, we'll go into the dashboard here in just a moment, and you'll see that there's varying levels of AI and how you're utilizing it through this questionnaire where you're supposed to declare these things. Now, as a heads up, you have a backlog of books. You don't need to address that backlog of books yet, all right? They're saying, though, if you do updates, you will have to. And that is in the second part of the 3-part upload process when you're publishing to KDP. So let's go ahead and look at AI assisted. If you create the content yourself and use AI-based tools to edit, refine, error check, or otherwise improve that content, whether text or images, then it is considered AI assisted and not AI generated. Similarly, if you used an AI-based tool to brainstorm and generate ideas, but ultimately created the text or images yourself, this is also considered AI assisted, not AI generated. It is not necessary to inform us of the use of such tools or processes. So if you are using something like Pro Writing Aid for their rephrase, or you're using ChatGPT to clean up some grammar or punctuation, or even just giving yourself a writing prompt, they don't care about that. This is where they're looking at, are you using AI to create the entire content? Is that going to be what you are using? AI assisted, completely separate. So big fan. I've been gushing about it lately. You're going to hear more about it tomorrow when I have a video firing off about it, where I actually talk about a new AI assisted tool called Dibly Create. By the way, link inside the description down below. Get yourself free or premium access. If that's neither here or there, you'll love it. They actually have AI assistants in there with their bot called Kip. And the founders of Dibly Create specifically said to me, their intent is not to make the entire book. AI is meant to be leveraged in an ethical way that assists you in the writing and publishing process. So big shout out to the folks over at Dibly Create. Let's go ahead and finish up the rest of this little piece right here. You are responsible for verifying that all AI generated and or AI assisted content adheres to all our content guidelines. For example, to confirm an AI based tool did not create content based on copyrighted works, you're required to review and edit any AI tool outputs. So this means if you are doing any type of AI assistance or AI generation and you're sourcing information from that, you got to fact check it. And you've got to make sure that it's not plagiarized. All right. So make sure that if you're using any of these tools, always, always, always do a plagiarism check. In fact, I even recommend doing plagiarism checks on your own work before you do upload, because from time to time, there's going to be some type of passages that are fairly common, like, I don't know, dollar per donut or something like that. I don't know, or what you see is what you get. You end up putting that in there. Sure, you're not going to get dinged for plagiarism, but there's still that tiny fraction of a chance that they could ding you for something like that. So I recommend always use a plagiarism checker to make sure everything is on point before you ever publish a book. I know it seems silly because you created all the content, so why should it be any different? So that is the distinction between AI generated and AI assisted. So let's do an even deeper dive. Please make sure that you stay with me on this one, because there's actually even more information I've got for you, and I will do a question and answer right afterwards. So if you've got questions, put a Q inside your comment so I know that you've got a question for me, and I'll get to it here right after I'm done going through some of this information. So we've gone through this stuff right here. This is what we know so far. Let's go into the KDP dashboard. This is the second part in the upload process. All right, so if you go into your ebook, you will see Amazon's collecting information about the use of artificial intelligence tools in creating content. And of course, they describe what AI content is. We define AI generated content as text, images, or translations created by an artificial intelligence-based tool. As per usual, you'll hear them refer back to the KDP content guidelines. One of the biggest ones is they do not want poor publications. They don't want to have anything that reads terrible, that has typos, that has grammatical errors, that is just poor quality. They have been known to shut down accounts of those authors out there that can't be bothered to find a good editor or even edit in the first place. Folks, edit your work before you put it up there, and it can't be just self-edited. Get another human being to look over it, because whether or not you're using AI, you put up poor quality content, you are in danger. You will not be able to stay in this business very long whatsoever. I understand editing is not cheap. You can find other cost-effective resources out there, including working with other authors. There's a Discord community that has a lot of authors that are always looking to collaborate with other authors. Go to dalelinks.com/discord. There's a link inside the description down below. All right, so let's look at this screen share here. Do you use AI in the creating? So let's just say I put no. No, nothing happens, okay? But if I hit yes, you're gonna see there's 3 drop downs here. We've got text, which is none, some sections with minimal or no editing, some sections with extensive editing, entire work with minimal or no editing, entire work with extensive editing. Now, we can sit here and think about many implications in what these options mean. And before I do get to that, let's look at the fact that images, it's going to be pretty much the same. One or a few AI generated images with minimal or no editing, one or a few AI generated images with extensive editing, many AI generated images with no minimal or with minimal or no editing, and many AI generated images with extensive editing. And then same thing with translations, some sections, blah, blah, blah. You see exactly what is going on here. So this brings up so many questions, because there's a lot of people out there that are really concerned. Like, am I snitching on myself? If I let them know about this, will this get my account terminated? So what I did was I actually reached out to KDP for a comment, and ambiguous as always, but they were able to answer a few things. The very first thing I was able to, and my apologies, I can't be able to share this private conversation on screen, so you're just gonna have to hear me share it. I asked, does the selection appear publicly on a product page? So if somebody selects this, will it appear on their product page? In other words, will it inform the public that, hey, this has been generated by AI in whatever level that you end up selecting? Or is this for internal use only? And I also asked, is there a special review process for anyone who uses AI generated more than the lower levels? Lower levels meaning, like, you know, the sum and blah, blah, blah. At any rate, my KDP came back to me and they said, at this time, we are not showing this information to customers, but may choose to do so in the future. May choose to do so. So this means a lot. This means that if people understand that this is behind here, the ne'er-do-wells, the bad actors, if they understand that they're going to get outed, what's the likelihood of them actually filling out that honestly? Because chances are likely they're going to go, no, I don't want to do this. So what systems and processes are going to be in place that is going to detect when they're lying, when they're false? Sure, there are going to be some obvious choices, and I'm going to share some of them with you here in just a second, because it is stupid. It is absolutely just insane. And I'm going to share another instance too as well, beyond just some of these articles. Any rate, Furthermore, they said they were not able to discuss any of the review processes, but responding that content is AI generated will not prevent authors from publishing with KDP. So if you are really nervous and you're saying, I don't know, this could really spell disaster for me, Dale. I'm really worried about this. Should I just say no and be done with it? What I would say, guys, is be honest. Be honest, and if you are not clear on what to select, reach out to support. You could scroll down to the bottom of your dashboard and hit contact us. So any rate, there was one, and I found this interesting because big shout out to Debbie B. Debbie B got a hold of me and actually broke the news to me yesterday. And that's when I found out a little bit more, and go figure, that's when I reached out to KDP and they said, hey, we were going to get a hold of you and let you know about this. So in any event, Debbie had shared a bunch of mushroom hunting guides recently popped up on Amazon. They're all written by AI, and mushroom experts are sounding the alarm because some of them imply that tasting is a valid way to identify a mushroom. One discusses finding a cooking a protected one that's illegal to pick, and they all include poor descriptions of edible mushrooms that are very hard to differentiate from deadly ones. A family just died recently from eating mushrooms too, so Amazon likely is making sure they aren't liable for selling the guides. This is news to me, but I'm not sure if you are aware of it, as Debbie had shared with it. Big shout out to Debbie. Thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate your contributions, and anybody that actually helps contribute to the cause, I do appreciate it. So this is fairly interesting information. So why is this happening? You hear this really startling thing. Let's go ahead and look at the smoking gun and why they've done this AI stuff. So let's go on over here. And I literally just typed up in Google into its generative AI here. And I was like, AI books. And it's so funny that the first thing that comes up is this: Amazon doesn't prohibit AI generated books, but some AI generated books may violate intellectual property rights or mislead customers. Okay, Google just said it for you. It's not like they pulled this from KDP. They're telling you right now there are people that are violating intellectual property rights and misleading customers. All right, AI is saying this themselves. All right, this is incredible. Like, what? All right, so let's go and look at the complete veritable poop storm, if you will. I'm trying to keep it family friendly here today and not go off on a rant. This is a piece by Vice, and it is called AI Generated Books of Nonsense Are All Over Amazon Bestsellers Lists. This was actually back on June the 28th, and it kind of was very interesting. If you look at this image here, it shows quite a bit of really trash publications. So let me just read the first couple of paragraphs. Amazon Kindle Unlimited Young Adult Romance Bestseller List was filled with dozens of AI-generated books of nonsense on Monday and Tuesday. As of Wednesday morning, Amazon appeared to have taken action against the books, but the episode shows that people are spamming AI-generated nonsense to the platform and are finding a way to monetize it. The AI bots have been broken, Caitlin Lynch said, an indie author, in a tweet on Monday. Take a look at the bestsellers list in teen and young adult contemporary romance ebooks top 100 chart. I can see 19 actual legit books. The rest are AI nonsense. Clearly, they are to click farm. Motherboard viewed dozens of clearly AI generated books Tuesday afternoon. By Wednesday, the vast majority of them had fallen off the bestseller list, but are still available to the platform. And the titles that you will see in this article are astounding. Visit the article. There's a link down below. What? This isn't even like, it's not even sensible English. Like, this doesn't even pass. Like, at what point do you say, okay, this is probably not a good idea? So select titles include, you ready for this? When the Three Attacks. That's the name of the title. By the way, you're supposed to capitalize the first letter of every word inside a title. Apricot barcode architecture. The journey to becoming enlightened is arduous. Department of Vendu stands in front of his parents' tombstone. The God 2 mutters. Ma La snorted scornfully in Jessica's attention, etc. What? Can I buy a vowel? This makes no sense. What point did you think in your brain that this was passable as publishing, that this was doable, that you wouldn't get caught like, ooh, I showed that Amazon. Here's what happens when Amazon discovers things like that, that you are manipulating the system purposely, is they ban you, they terminate you, They will find you and they will strike you down with zero remorse. If they're doing this based on false positives alone, can you imagine what they do when they find authors that are abusing the system? By the way, here's a neat little tool. If you find a publication that is clearly in the wrong, is clearly being put into the system, abusing AI content, there's this beautiful little feature. It's on every product page. It says report abuse. Click it. I'm not trying to build a culture of snitches here or anything else like that, but it comes a point that this is taking money off of our table. This is giving us a black eye. This is making the whole industry of publishing, from traditional publishing to self-publishing, have mustard on its face. This is silly. This is stupid. There's no reason that titles like this should be populating the world at all. And anybody that's publishing this should be ashamed of themselves. And the nice thing is when KDP does discover this, guess what they do? They withhold your earnings, and in some instances, they will take that money back from you. And if you're saying, oh, I've already removed the money, they'll track you down. Remember, this is a billion-dollar company that loves to squash cockroaches like you that are abusing their system. They will find you eventually. It will catch up. So here's another one that might send your eyebrows and just leave you in a tiff. This is one I shared over on the podcast channel not too long ago, in that Jane Friedman, the bastion of traditional and self-publishing out there. She is a wonderful resource to this community and everybody inside the author community as a whole. I would rather see my books get pirated than this, or why Goodreads and Amazon are becoming dumpster fires. Let me give you the TLDR about this particular article. Again, link down below. There were some folks that were putting together clearly AI-generated content and slapping Jane Friedman's name on it, and it was in the same niche. In other words, they were trying to misrepresent Jane freaking Friedman and thought that they weren't going to get caught. Well, the nice thing is she brought this out into the public and she let the world know at large. Now, I think that ended up getting squashed, but there was a little bit of pushback because it was like, well, do you have your name trademarked? No. Most indie authors out there are not going to trademark their frigging name, but now we're kind of being forced to do it because, well, AI, because there's these people over here that go, well, this is okay. Last I knew it, there actually used to be a subscriber on this channel. At one point or another, he accidentally made his pen name of some low-level B-list celebrity. Like, accidentally. He got his account closed, period. Boom. They're like, no, you're impersonating this person. Out of here. So just so you know, if you try to abuse this and use somebody else's author name and misrepresent them, you'll get banned. Like, it's just plain and simple. If it doesn't happen now, it will eventually happen. So this is the reason why this is happening. So I shared a little bit about the award from, KDP. And again, it's a bit ambiguous, but at least I gave you some of this. Now, what are the implications? I mean, we can sit here and say there's a number of implications. How are they going to police this system? What are they going to be doing for vetting the process? I mean, are they going to be putting something that's going to be automated in place? If that's the case, ooh, this is going to be rough. Because a lot of AI detection tools out there are not foolproof. They're not 100%, because there's been instances, and I think big shout out to Sean Dolwitt, go follow his channel. He actually shared on a number of occasions that text that is human written has actually been flagged as having AI content, despite not using AI whatsoever. Okay, so this means that this isn't foolproof. So if KDP ends up implementing something like this, like automation, there's going to be a ton of false positives. And if there's a ton of false positive, what's going to happen? Suspensions and terminations. And it's going to happen to the wrong people. And this makes me so nervous right now. This makes me absolutely just lose my lunch. So I asked them, what's the vetting process? They weren't inclined to answer. They couldn't answer. Maybe it's case that when somebody declares it, this puts it into the queue for them. I don't know. Are account holders essentially snitching on themselves, turning themselves in? So what will KDP do with AI-generated books? I mean, let's say somebody does declare it. Are there going to be longer approval times for those people? as far as publishing and listing? Is there a deeper vetting process? How do they know for sure? Obviously, there are some cut and dry ways to look. I mean, you can clearly see some of them are fake. I mean, it's definitely abundantly clear. So if you're the AI person who's abusing things, chances are likely you're going to end up hitting no. So what's going to happen? That KDP is going to be able to detect those people that have lied on this. And I imagine if they end up lying and they catch them, how are they going to be able to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt? And knowing KDP's history, they won't. They've proven time and again that it doesn't matter. You are guilty until proven innocent on KDP. And this is the concerning part that I have. This is where I'm worried. Yes, this is a great shift in the right direction. And I see a lot of people that are very anti-AI, whether assisted or generated, that are sitting here applauding. Hey, this is going to affect you too. You're going to end up getting screwed like everybody else. And where you're sitting here having this parade and just throwing the ticker tape down from the rafters and just having a great old time about this update. This merely scratches the surface. This is merely just the beginning. And I'm not trying to incite a riot or any kind of panic, but I am very much a realist in the fact that we don't have enough information right now to know what's going to happen. The best way I can be able to know is if you share this information with me via comments, or if you ever feel uncomfortable about it, you can join my Discord community or email me at dale@selfpublishingwithdale.com. If I don't respond to you, please understand I get inundated with a lot of emails, so I can't get to everybody. But if you send me any kind of information about an account termination or suspension when it comes to something like AI, I want to know about it. I want to hear about it. I don't think everybody should stop using AI. I think it's a fantastic tool, whether you agree with me or disagree with me on this point. I believe AI assistance has its place. AI generation, personally, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it, but I understand it has value to those out there that really want to utilize it. If you are providing value to the reader and not trying to just take money from people, then I think it's with good intentions. But make sure that the book that you're putting out that is entirely AI generated, that you fully disclose it, not only through your KDP dashboard, but probably even through your copyright page where you fully disclose it there. So that way everybody knows what you've done and how you've done it. If you don't like disclosing that, you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business. This is outwardly a selfish business, but it needs to be a selfless business, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about money here, folks. Because where does that money come from? This comes from your friends, your family, neighbors, random strangers. This comes from human beings. And while you think that you're screwing the Amazon platform, you're sticking it to the man. No, you're not. You're only screwing other human beings that are on the other side of that paywall. That makes zero sense. I'm not going to sit here and steal from my own family. And that's why I won't be doing practices like these bad actors flooding the market and misrepresenting things. What are your thoughts? I definitely would love to hear from you inside the comments. If you got any questions, please load it up with a Q, followed by your question and such. And I'm going to try my best to get to everybody here. Let's go on over into the chat. Bear with me here, folks. I got to pop open the two chats here. Big shout out to everybody that happened to pop in here today. I got a great video that's going to be firing off. There's a link down below to the upcoming video that's going to be firing off tomorrow. So, all right. So I'm going to start at the very top here of the chat because it looks like you guys have been popping here. I have 130 people. What is going on? Thank you so much. I appreciate this. Please share it if you're enjoying the content by all means. And if you do disagree with some of these things that I'm talking with today, please understand I'm okay with you disagreeing. That is totally fine with you disagreeing. But please, I would like for you to remain professional and tactful in your approach, because otherwise I'll just ban you. That's really it. I mean, I've been pretty professional about what I've said. I get a little bit ranty, but for the most part, if you can kind of be civil, that'd be great. All right, so I'm looking for some questions here. Looking for some questions. All right, I'm just going to scroll through. If I don't see a Q by the thing, I'm just going to go ahead and skip the comment. My apologies if you can. How do you use a plagiarism checker? I like this one, VE. So there are a number of services out there that you can do that are available, typically premium. What I would say is you're one Google search away from finding a good plagiarism checker. I do know for a fact I use Pro Writing Aid. They actually charge a little bit more. I think it's like $1 per, plagiarism check or something. So I ended up buying like 10 plagiarism checks for like $12 or something like that with fees included. So I use Pro Writing Aid. That's one of the ways you can utilize. Grammarly has a plagiarism checker. Just understand that they're only going to be able to cover so much. But I've actually had plagiarism. The plagiarism checker on Grammarly had saved my tail a number of years ago when I was working with a ghostwriter, and this ghostwriter tried to pull a fast one on me, and I caught her. And thankfully it did save me. So I don't have an affiliate link to send on here, but you can visit dalelinks.com/ProWritingAid. You can get 20% off if you are looking into getting that. What is a good plagiarism checker? You've got my wholehearted endorsement on Pro Writing Aid. So here we go. I am Claire Clark. By the way, Claire, always great to see you, Claire. I enjoy hearing from you. You are so active inside the Discord community. I appreciate it. What if we buy a stock image and the retailer doesn't disclose it's made with AI? Ooh. Man. I would think that a platform like that would disclose the nature of it being AI. But I think as long as you are not in the knowledge and in the know, then you should probably be absolved of that. I don't know that, because if they shut down your account thinking that that's AI generated text, it's still, or image, that's still on you. So that's a tough question. I honestly don't know. I want to hear from you guys. What would you think about that? What's a good plagiarism checker? You guys are paying attention. I appreciate it. Ooh, be careful with the reviews too, because Facebook hates fake reviews. There you go. There you go. I'm looking out for, here we go. Does images include the cover design as to whether it's AI generated or not? Yes, Bill, it does include the cover design. Absolutely. It's going to be everything that you're uploading in that process that they're going to be asking you for, because it does occur. And this is the reason why I say this, Bill, is it happens on the second part of the upload process, meaning that the cover and the interior has been uploaded. So that's where you're disclosing it. I would probably walk that statement back if it were for the, if it were in the first part of the upload process, meaning like where the keywords and the categories and things like that. I initially thought that that's where it was going to be, but when I saw it was on the second part of the upload process, that's when it led me to believe that all of the content that you're uploading fulfills that. So great question, by the way. Excellent question. Let's go over here. When I use those AI robots, tell it to not use verbs because it repeats a lot of the same verbs and gives it away. There you go. There you go. Yes, it's important when you're using AI, don't just settle for whatever they give you as the first thing. Is Mid-Journey image allowed on Amazon KDP? So Krishan, thank you. Very first thing is going to be, yes, it is allowed on Amazon KDP, but you will have to disclose the nature of that in the upload process, the second part inside the upload process. So in the images portion, you'll have to declare that you have utilized that. They don't specifically ask where you got the image from, but they're going to ask where if you've got it and at what capacity. So for instance, let me just pop back over in here really fast. So if we were to go yes on this one, Krishan, you could see that it says images, one or a few AI generated images with minimal or no editing. So let's say that you use this image, but then you have some typography on the front, being like your font and the layout of everything and the color. You're just using image. This would probably be that. But let's say, for instance, you take that image from Midjourney and you do a little bit of tweaks and changes and you graphically alter it. That would probably be underneath the with extensive. Now, many AI generated images I would think would apply to something that's going to be more like a picture book, maybe a kid's book or a graphic novel of some sort, that type of a thing. So excellent question, Krishan. I appreciate you asking that. Please, folks, fire them away because I'm going to be here. How are they monetizing? How are they monetizing? Chances are very likely, and this is very, very speculative, because if they're popping up on bestseller lists, they're using click farms. So what they're doing is they're outsourcing somebody probably elsewhere for a very cheap amount of money that are going in and checking out these books via Kindle Unlimited, and they're flipping through the pages, so then it boosts their rank, and then it pushes them up there and puts them in front of more people. Unfortunately, when that happens, Amazon, the algorithms say, oh, let's go ahead and recommend this out to other people within this niche. And then people are served that, and then they're going to end up either buying it and being upset, or they'll see it and they'll report it, or they'll see it and go, I'm not going to buy that garbage. So how are they monetizing it? Through underhanded ways. So LOL, what AI did they use to make that? Must be the Kirkland brand. I must have missed a point there, so my apologies. Can I buy a vowel? Yeah, exactly. Dale spills the tea. You know it, Gwen. I'm here. I appreciate all you tuning in. If you got questions, please fire them away. I'm going through all of them right now. Are those books from the U.S. or generated from non-English teams? Wilda, I think you're onto something. I think the fact that this has gone through the way it has, that it must be ESL authors, English as a second language, because the fact that they're putting out books like that without even like any, like who speaks that way? Like nobody speaks this way. So chances are very likely they're just going into the system, putting in a bunch of really crappy prompts, and whatever comes out first, they just go and publish it. That's a horrible idea. All right. If you're going to use AI generated content, for the love of all things sacred, edit it. Get a human editor to do it. All right. I'm not telling you to edit it with itself. All right. Editing it with itself is all well and good, but it's not going to take care of all the readability issues that you have. You need a human to edit these things. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. Work with other authors and other self-publishers out there. I understand if you're building a business in self-publishing and you're using this and leveraging this in a way, but you need to do it in a very mindful way that other account holders and authors do, because what ends up happening is when you churn out garbage into the system, you're making us all look bad. And self-publishing is still, it still has this stigma. It's getting better, but there's always this stigma of self-publishing being secondary, that it's being less than. And in my opinion, I feel it is on par with other things like traditional publishing, so long as you conduct and publish yourself in a way that is professional, that it looks good, that it is put together in a sensible manner. So, strike you down with the power of Odin. Yes, you got it. It's not cinching if it's keeping our business credible and ethical. Shelley, I love you. My friend received Tony Robbins' book with the cover and all white pages in the middle. Oh, another prime example. That's some of the low content losers out there. I'm not calling everybody that publishes things low content, books as losers, but they're the ones that just churn out stuff. Like I seen somebody put out a bunch of Slipknot journals. Like the band does not give permission to use their likeness and their trademark and their IP. Like, oh, drives me crazy. Billion with a B. Yeah, you know it. I'm trying to move along here. Is that a federal offense? Also wondering if it's coming from outside the U.S., if it's prosecutable. Debbie, whoo! By the way, shout out to Debbie. Debbie is the one who broke the news to me yesterday. Debbie, you are the best. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I don't know. I wish I could be able to tell you. When it comes to legalities, I really try not to tread towards that direction because I'm out of my wheelhouse on that one. Yeah, what? Trademark our names? Yeah, exactly. They told Jane freaking Friedman to prove she had a trademark on that. What? All right. If you're not familiar with who Jane Friedman is, Google her up. The woman is absolutely just illustrious, a fantastic person. I need to get her on for an interview one of these days. Love her hot sheet that she puts out weekly. Go to thehotSheetPub.com or hotsheetpub.com and get signed up for her email newsletter. Fantastic. Love it. But the fact that Jane freaking Friedman had to prove her own ownership of her author name. Are you kidding me? What? They're going to use AI to catch AI. So very meta. See, yeah, that's the part I'm very concerned about, is if they end up implementing AI to catch AI, and it's going to create so many false positives. Almost 140 people. What's going on here, folks? Like, I am literally just flabbergasted. Thank you for tuning in. The last time I saw this type of a turnout was when Cocktygate was a big thing. And I think that was 2018. Yes, trademark your name, protect it, for sure. I need to get with my lawyer sooner than later. Should we trademark our names for authorship? Eva, first of all, this is going to come down to your expenses. Trademarking is not cheap. In fact, let me share with you the trademarking process. I went with my lawyer on this one. You could probably file it yourself and probably save a little bit of money, but I end up filing the trademark for my series Book Rescue. Yes, Book Rescue is officially trademarked. They actually had announced it earlier this year. That is coming back, by the way, folks. It will be in 2024. My apologies, but this year has been crazy, as you can imagine, as I'm getting ready to launch 6 new books. But for me to trademark Book Rescue, that ran me, with my lawyer's time and the fees and everything else, it ran close to $400. It wasn't cheap whatsoever. Now, keep in mind, my lawyer runs about $250 per hour. I think he must have done it in a pretty quick time, because I think for the trademark itself, and it was just for the word. It wasn't for the actual image or the logo for that. So it can be very costly. So folks, choose it wisely. To me, I think that I'd like to think it's an inessential expense, but it might get to that point that we're going to have to do that. By the way, folks over hanging out on the podcast channel as well, I do see you guys. I'm going to get to your questions and such here. Ooh, I've got some recommendations. Somebody, Wilda Kier says Grammarly and WordTune and Quillbot. Very good. Thank you so much for the recommendations. That's true. A lot of people have their names trademarked. Yeah. Has there ever been like a courtroom trial or through lawyers where an author had to defend themselves to Zahn? Yes. Yes, there has been numerous instances. Gosh, I'm sorry, I have to be very anecdotal on this one here, Debbie, but I do recall at one point or another, this might have been early 2016-ish, that some people were manipulating the system, and they ended up being taken to court and sued to get the money back. So yeah, Amazon doesn't mess around. They have a FAFO policy, and I think you know what FAFO stands for. Please, nobody post inside the chat. You're just going to have to Google that one up. All right. For some reason, my chat is jumping forward, so I missed your question. Please post it again. What do you do if there are multiple authors with my given name who gets to trademark the name? Ooh, again, we're going to some very legal hot waters that I feel like I'm outside of my realm. I will share with you that when I broke into the business in 2014, there was an author at the time. His name was Dale Roberts, and he was publishing, I think, mystery books. I don't know if it's still around to this day. I think it might have disappeared. I just haven't looked in a while. But that's why I ended up using my middle initial L. So anytime that you see anybody call me Dale Roberts in an interview, they're forgetting the L. It's Dale L. Roberts. That is the name that I utilize as my author name. So that would probably be one thing, is just try to build off a variation. See if there is an author that has a similar name to yours, and try to figure out, okay, how well established are they? I mean, is this just a one-off thing? Do they have it trademarked? You can go and look up the trademark through, well, here in the United States, you can look up at uspto.gov. That will be able to get you the information there to see if there's any trademarks on your name. Anywhere else, I'm sorry, I don't know where you would find that trademark. You're just going to have to look that one up. So, but whoever gets the trademark to the name is going to be the person who registers it, to be honest with you, because trademark is different from copyright. Copyright, when you write content, there's an implied copyright whenever you're creating content yourself. Then there is the registered copyright that is enforceable through courts and such. So for instance, let's say for you, Bill, that you file a copyright, or you register a copyright through the U.S. Copyright Office, we'll just say as an instance, and I go and I plagiarize your stuff and I upload it. You catch me and you find out that I make a lot of money from it and whatever, so you decide you're going to take me to court. Now, thankfully, since you registered that copyright is now enforceable. Whereas if you try to take me to court without that registration, all you're going to rely on is hearsay. Is going to be like, well, you just got to take my word for it. Well, here is a digital stamp of when I did my first document. Here is a stamp of when I published it. Here is a live video of me writing this stuff. That's all well and good, but what is more enforceable is going to be a registered copyright. Copyrights can be pretty pricey as well. So just something to kind of think about. Trademarks, way more expensive. So, all right. So what about medium content books like children's activity books made with help of BookBolt? To my understanding, BookBolt is not AI yet. I don't know that they have any AI integrated inside it. I haven't heard anything from Neil Lassen or the folks over at BookBolt that they're leveraging AI whatsoever. All the stuff that they're putting together is all different, all different. Sure, you've got the templates. So I feel like that's a different animal altogether. So if you are utilizing AI, or if you're utilizing BookBolt and strictly BookBolt and no other AI tools outside of BookBolt, you should hopefully be fine. But again, artificial intelligence, BookBolt is not artificial intelligence at all. They're templates essentially. So that's 100% different. So you should be good. Do you think AI detectors will be powerful enough to recognize AI content and Amazon will use it for this purpose? Yeah. Probably. And this is what I'm so fearful of, is they're going to end up using some AI detection technology out there, and it's not 100%. I just don't see it. Again, shout out to Sean Dolwit. Guys, go check out Sean's channel. That's spelled S-E-A-N. His last name spelled D-O-L-L-W-E-T. Sean's covered a lot about AI, and he is a straight and narrow guy. He doesn't talk about any black hat tactics. He's a person I trust. He gives very good advice, and he talks a lot about AI and such. And that's one of the areas that he has covered, is the fact that there is the AI detection software that's out there, but it's never foolproof. It's never 100%, because he actually fed human created content into it and still discovered that there was a percentage of AI, even though AI wasn't utilized in it. So, and then you can put in AI and it'll say, oh, 90% of this is original and 10% is AI. What? That's entirely generated by AI. That makes no sense. So it's what I'm super fearful of. I'm hoping that they're using a vetting process through the declaration. But the biggest issue is, how are they going to be able to catch the bad actors that are just going to say no? Because they know that if they hit yes, it's going to shine a spotlight on them. They don't want that spotlight on them. So the only way we're going to be able to drop that spotlight on them is when they publish their work. You find it online over on Amazon, report abuse. All right. So does this have any ranking impact when compared with normal upload? No, it doesn't seem to have any relevant impact on ranking. So from what KDP has told me is, you could still publish content through AI. We could speculate on this one here, Imran, but I'm thinking that at this point, no, probably not. I mean, ranking is going to come down to, are you marketing and promoting your book? And some of that marketing and promotion through bad actors are typically going to be through click farms of some sort. They're hiring people to do it for them. What about media and content books like children's books made? Okay, we kind of covered that one there. What do you have planned when you hit 100,000 here at YouTube? Stay tuned for that. 154 people are here because you're a tour de force for self-publishing all things writing. We appreciate you, Dale. Sean, I appreciate the kudos. Right now I'm excited about hitting the 100K. I know I'll be hitting it by this time next year for sure if we just stay at this pace. But at this point, I just want to enjoy my time and putting out content for you guys that's going to be of value and of great purpose to you. All right, I caught that question already. What happens if your editor used AI to edit your book without your knowledge? This is all surreal. That would be AI assisted. So if they're using AI to edit your book, that is AI assisted. So there was the distinction between AI assisted and AI generated. So if your editor is going through and creating complete new passages with AI, that's where I would be concerned. But a good editor is not going to be using complete passages replaced with AI content. I'm thinking they're going to be using it for AI assistance. So for instance, they could probably use Pro Writing Aid to just kind of go through and do a quick scrub. But any good human editor worth their weight in gold at this point is going to be not leaning on AI very much. In fact, I would hope that both of my editors that go for fiction and nonfiction are not using AI. I would rather have their human eye go through some of those things, and I'll leave it up to me to use the AI assistants to clean up things. Can also the email company to get copyright permission if you want to use their trademark? If it's a product, you might have to agree on a profit cut. Yeah, Jess, that's probably a good best practice. When in doubt, reach out. It's better to be on the safe side if you're going to use any type of name. So let's say, for instance, you discover, my name's Dale L. Roberts too. You reach out to me and say, hey, Dale, I'm getting ready to publish. Chances are likely I'll probably tell you no. Find a different name. So I'm going to email Hello Kitty right now. Yes. Do not mess around with Hello Kitty. That is a very world recognized brand right there. What about old books? Do I have to republish and declare AI usage? So Zinho, no, you don't have to right now. But if you do plan on doing any updates, you will have to go through that whole process. You will have to. So for instance, on this particular book, when I get ready to process it through, this is one of my fitness books. So there's clearly no AI that was used on this one. I published this years ago before that technology was even available to me. I'll end up going through and saying no. But if you do update, now, what are they going to do as far as auditing some of these accounts that are using AI and have not declared it? Since they haven't had the opportunity to declare that, I would think they would give them the benefit of the doubt, but it doesn't have anything to do with, I think it has everything to do with what they're going to do. So I can only speculate on this particular instance right here. I would imagine, though, they're going to start auditing, and they're always auditing people's catalogs to make sure everything's good to go. Do I have any proof or anything else like that? No, but when there are accounts that have flown under the radar for years and then get nabbed and terminated, kind of lets me know that, you know, they're looking at things. Isn't copyright $55? Yeah, it's like 55 or 65 bucks, and a collection of short stories, I think, as well, to a certain extent. So if AI learns from our writing and it generates copy inspired by us when it's used by another author, then are we ultimately very screwed? That's why I say plagiarism checker. But to a certain extent, I found that on a lot of instances when I've used AI assistants, I'm getting original sentences. And when I'm using AI, I'm not using it to write entire passages. To me, most of the time, if I get a sticky situation or a sticky sentence, and by the way, I talk a lot about this in tomorrow's video that's going to be launching. There's a link down below. It's not live yet, so you click on it, it's going to go to a privated video, but I will be launching a video that I'm going to be covering 10 ways to write a book, and a couple of it's going to be addressing AI assistants. No, I do not lean into AI generation as publishing worthy type stuff. So, but yeah. Samuel, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much. My apologies. I know you asked a question in Discord. I missed it totally. If I don't answer a question, folks, it's not because I'm ignoring you. Can I use Quillbot to rewrite or edit an AI-generated book? Probably. I don't know Quillbot very well. I heard about it through longtime supporter here of the channel, Tom McAuliffe. Tom McAuliffe, yes. McAuliffe, come on now. Why am I... I'm sorry, author Tom McAuliffe. There we go. Yes, it's Tom. Sorry, Tom. I know too many Toms. My apologies. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What's the most you spent on a ghostwriter? Ooh. Man, it's been years. It's been years since I did any ghostwriting. So for me to share that money now, I think it would be, it would set your expectations at such a high level. But I remember hundreds. It wasn't thousands, I know for sure. And the work that I was getting typically was anywhere from 10 to 30,000 words. If I were to do something like that today, I would probably find a much better ghostwriter, but it's going to come at a higher premium. This is why I'm old fashioned. I print a copy and my editor returns it with her edits. Shelly, big kudos to you. Big banana sticker for you. All right, my chat keeps doing this for some reason. It just jumps forward, so my apologies. Keith Wheeler Books, big shout out to Keith. He's my boy. Do you think KDP and Amazon will end up adding something in product description area to denote AI content? Yeah, so that's what I had addressed early on there, Keith, was when I reached out to the KDP team, they pretty much said, not at this time will they use this as a tool to declare that on the product page, but it's a possibility. In fact, let me make sure that I get the wording just right so I don't misrepresent them. So this is exactly what they said to me. And give me just a second here. At this time, we are not showing this information to customers, but may choose to do so in the future. So there is that information there. So hopefully that helps out there, buddy. But I would imagine so, especially... it just seems like the direction we're going in because more customers are going to want to know when a human has done it. Even if AI generated is allowed by KDP in the short term to be safe, do you advise to not use AI at all? In the short term, I would recommend that you just stick with AI assistants and get yourself a good, thorough editing process in place that involves with human interaction and intervention. That means getting human editors and someone outside of yourself. As far as AI generated content itself, I don't recommend it because it just doesn't sit well with me. I don't think that you should be using AI to churn out book after book after book after book without some form of human intervention beyond yourself. So I want you to think of this: if you are writing this book yourself, you were creating this cover yourself, that you have done all this stuff, it still needs to go through the same systems and processes that I recommend to authors that are doing it, to ghostwriters, to people that are hiring ghostwriters. The same processes and implements need to be put in place. But I would recommend don't lean too heavily into AI generated content to produce your content on here. It is a very slippery slope at this point. I do not recommend going 100% AI generated content. AI assistance, absolutely. I highly recommend it. It will optimize your workflow. For me, I use it for getting myself out of sticky situations. So for instance, I might be backed into a corner, can't figure out, oh, what's the information I want here? Or let me fact check something here just really fast. Let me see if I can get more details about this. Maybe I can rephrase this. That's how I like to leverage it. I like the AI art stuff out there, but I won't ever use it for sale. Okay. I won't put it on my book cover. I won't put it over into anything that I'm selling. Now, something like social media, I think it's 100% harmless at this point. So, but when it comes to KDP, err on the side of caution. I would not recommend doing AI generated content, but they say it's allowable. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can take their word for it. I'm a subscriber and I hope everyone is. Thank you so much, Shelly. I appreciate it. Sir, please, what is the best option to choose when punishing? Just joining now. If you're punishing somebody, don't use physical violence, and talk in a tactful yet professional way. Totally kidding with you there, Ruth. I think you meant publishing. What's the best option to choose when publishing? Just joining now. Path of least resistance for newbies, I always say, is Amazon KDP. But you should look into other resources like Ingram Spark, Draft2Digital, Lulu, Blurb Books, so on and so forth. I got a lot of videos covering that type of topic. So just kind of peel through some of my backlog. In fact, look up the 10 best self-publishing companies and you'll see a video that I did. I saw an author hire a cover artist, and the artist clearly used Midjourney, the hands, but swore to the author that they did not use AI. Well, apparently they must have issues with counting hands. This is very important. If someone trademarks a book name after me publishing the same 2 years before, do I have to remove my book? Oof. That's another legal one. I'm sorry. There's no way I'll be able to honestly answer that. You would have to consult a lawyer on that one. But if somebody ends up getting a trademark, I would recommend, if you do know it, take it down for sure, for sure. Is there any risk of copyrights infringement with Midjourney generated images when selling on Amazon? Absolutely, there is. Absolutely, there is. I've seen many instances where they have had Getty Images, stamp on there. In fact, Midjourney right now is in the middle of a lawsuit with some companies that are suing them, and I think Getty Images is one of them. So yeah, be careful. Be careful if you use AI images. I'm not the biggest fan of using that for sale. And I had this whole, back and forth with a longtime follower in which I had mentioned a long time ago over on Twitter, where I'm like, don't use AI generated, images for your covers. If you are not a graphic designer, you should not be just, oh, well, I've got great graphics. Great graphics don't make for a great cover. Okay. Great layout, great typography, great, color choice and thematic, thematically needs to kind of line together. So those DIY authors out there that are putting together covers with the AI generated art, you're putting yourself into a very compromising position. I really recommend that you look into a good graphic design artist that specializes in book cover design. Someone has a birthday coming up. You going live on your birthday? I am going live on my birthday over on the podcast channel. We're going to be doing a live writing sprint. So if you want to celebrate with me, it'd be awesome you join me this Saturday over on the podcast channel. That's dalelinks.com/YouTube podcast. I think people are confusing good AI users with beginners. Good AI users combines their ideas with AI assistance. Think Jarvis from Iron Man. Beginners just put it in a prompt and take it as it is. Alucard, that's exactly Dracula. I see what you got there. I see what you're doing. But Alucard, yeah, you're right. There are a lot of beginners out there, and there's also some people out there that are 100% lazy. They just don't even care to go through and do that. Unfortunately, the bad apples are going to spoil the bunch. They are. Do you have author support group I can join? I am a new author. Yes, Kemi, actually down below inside the description, you will find a link to Discord. There's a Discord community you can visit as well as a Facebook group that you can join. I recommend coming to Discord because it is, you don't have to worry about an algorithm. So if you got a question, you can always ping me inside the Discord community. That's at dalelinks.com/discord, by the way, if you want to take a look there. But yes, link inside the description down below. Do you know if the cover art should be AI based? That's up to you, Samuel. If you want to make your cover art AI based, that's fine. Don't take what my opinion is as something you have to guide your life by. If you decide, I want to do my own cover, I'm going to do AI art images, what I recommend is that when you do the upload on KDP, on that second process, you're going to need to mention images and choose that drop down. Real briefly here, we're going to look right here. You'll want to use one of these selections. If it's just a cover, what I would say is with minimal or no editing. If you do extensive editing, in other words, you manipulate the image so it's different from its original version you got from, say, Midjourney or any other image-based stuff out there, then you want to disclose it there. So just know that, AI content generation, those that are doing it solely just with AI, I would just recommend human intervention, getting it in there, making it better, getting it to where it is more readable, that it is more passable, not just relying on AI to have made the best content it could possibly do. Would it be better to self-publish or traditionally publish with this AI update? Paul, in my opinion, you're tuning into a channel of a man that's absolutely obsessed about self-publishing. I really lean heavily in favor of self-publishing. Traditional publishing, there is a lot of work ahead of that. Yes, there's a lot of work in self-publishing, but you don't have the gatekeeper in the way. Traditional publishing, you have the gatekeeper. You have to end up finding an agent. That agent's going to have to query a bunch of different, traditional publishing houses. Your book's going to end up inside a slush pile, and it might get ended up looking at, it might not, who knows? So to me, I remove all the friction and I just go directly over to the source of self-publishing. So my opinion, if you want to go to traditional publishing route, fantastic. I see you over there, Anthony Fleischman. Thank you so much for that super chat. That is really cool for you. In case I missed the live stream on Saturday, happy birthday, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the $20 spot. Folks, there is the option to super chat on each one of these things. Never expected, always appreciated. And one of the greatest ways to help give back to this channel here is through the channel memberships program. There's a join button directly below this, and a little pop-up video. I'll explain it to you in that video. Don't worry, you don't need to pull out your credit card. But it's like Patreon, but here on YouTube. I give you a lot of exclusive access to videos that you don't normally see without it. Are you going to miss out on a whole lot? Probably, but honestly, I'm going to give you guys all the goods here when it comes to things like this. I don't want to leave you in the dark by having a paywall put up for information you want. Alrighty. Did KDP tell you this applied to covers? Yes, it actually is applying to covers because again, it's going into the second upload process. So it's the content. Content meaning the actual cover and the book. So if you look here, you'll see this is on the upload process directly after the manuscript's been uploaded and after the book has been uploaded. So we can definitely say that means the cover is included. So you might be saying, but Dale, they're not saying explicitly that it should do it. I think we can draw 2 and 2 together on this one. We can kind of figure this one out here. So Batman versus Dracula. Trying to join your Discord. Keeping getting oops, can't accept invitation. Shelly, try dalelinks.com/discord. It should open that up. My apologies if it's not opening up for you. Let me look over here on my desktop here. Discord. Yeah, no issues. I'm sorry, Shelly, if it's not working for you. Drop me an email, dale@selfpublishingwithdale.com, and I can try to walk you through it. Bear with me because I'm swamped with emails. The Factologist, do you think using AI to generate words for a word search book will pass the AI contents of Amazon? Ooh, that is a good question. To me, I think when it comes to something like lists, that's AI assistance. That's AI assistance. If you are creating entire passages of work on AI, then I would say yeah. But when it comes to just AI assistance and you're just getting lists, like anybody can do lists. You can literally be able to just whip together lists. So to me, in my opinion, it would probably be just assistance. If you want more clarity on that one, though, I would really highly recommend Factologists, especially since your business is all about facts. Get with the KDP team through the contact us in the bottom of your dashboard and ask them that one. That's a great question. I'll make sure to ask my contact that then. I'm so sorry, Shelly. Yeah, just drop me an email. We'll go ahead and do that. If you guys have any other questions, please shoot them on over here. I'm going to come on over to the podcast. Do you have any tips for people looking for cover designers who do not use AI-generated images? Miblart. Miblart and get covers. Miblart is fantastic. Dalelinks.com/Miblart. In fact, actually, there is a contest going on right now, a giveaway for a premium cover design worth $700. You go on over to dalelinks.com/giveaway. There's a link inside the description down below for that one. But hands down, love me some Miblart. They do not use AI. They have assured me that on many accounts. Forever Flower says, how would you class AI for writing back of book description? Ooh, man, now you're definitely getting into an area. That's going to be one you're going to want to ask them, because I do create book descriptions sometimes. And since it's on the book cover, then technically you should disclose that. Maybe what you could probably do is just get a prompt and try to do it yourself. So Jane's Hot Sheet. Yes, guys, go check out Jane's Hot Sheet. She's fantastic. I'm trademarking my pen name, my code name, not listed. What? Butcher, you always confuse me, man. You confuse me. Can I use the words Hello Kitty in reference to the brand without trouble? You should be able to do that with no issues, as long as you're not misrepresenting it. Don't put it in your title. You should probably be fine. But let's just say, for instance, it's in a fiction world, and I don't know, you have a teenager who's obsessed with Hello Kitty. Saying that in there is fine. But then, like, let's say that you've created this fictional world where the I don't know, the CEO of the company that owns Hello Kitty is an evil person and striking down fear in everybody and doing wrong things. Misrepresenting that brand could probably get you in hot water, but you should be fine. Dale, you please make a video about copyright and the process. I have covered that before. I have covered that. That's on the main channel. Go to dalelinks.com/YouTube. When you get audited by KDP, what can you expect? They just go in there and do it themselves. They just go in there and do it themselves. By the way, I love your no snooze. I love the logo there you have. I'm late. Cleve, it's good to see you there, buddy. I'm running about 20 minutes late behind live, so you may have answered this already regarding AI-generated images. What if I purchase artwork to include with my novel? More on next note. JD Nichols says, do I need to start asking my artists if they provide? Yes, start asking them. And how would I answer Amazon? If I bought it, does it matter whether it's AI or original? If you've had it generated as AI, your book cover designer does that, because there are some cover designers that will use AI. If you do find that out, you still need to disclose it, even though you have bought the rights and you didn't technically create the AI, but since it is AI created content, you would have to disclose that. My understanding is that AI covers art can be copied since they aren't, oh, come on, Dale. They aren't protected by copyrights. Do you know if that's true? There are some use cases in place right now when it comes to text and AI, when it comes to copyright. I don't want to speak too much into this because it's getting way outside my wheelhouse. I recommend that you follow Joanna Penn through the Creative Penn podcast. She's covered AI a lot lately over on her podcast. In fact, there was a couple of really good episodes over the last few months where they did dive deep into AI and the copyright of it. Yes, you can copyright it, but there are limitations to that. Can I unpublish a book published with Amazon's free ISBN and republish the same book with my own? Yes. What I would recommend to you, Tenniel Q, I'm just going to call you T. What I recommend to you, T, is make sure that you ping Amazon through the contact us and let them know that you're getting ready to publish a second edition, that there's not going to be any notable change other than the ISBN. That's always a good idea. Quit telling them about the Miblart giveaway because I need to win it. Dalelinks.com/giveaway. Folks, make sure that you go fill out. Give Cleve some competition. And I anticipate, gosh, it was supposed to finish up on the 1st, but right now we're waiting on the next video in the series to put the final deadline on for this contest. So in the meantime, you can enter daily. If you do enter the first time, you need to make sure that you confirm your entry by email. So you go into your email inbox after you've done your entry. There should be an email from King Sumo, who runs the giveaway contest. If you don't see it, go into your spam folder and you should see it there. And you need to confirm, because this is a way that we get bots out of there. So if you don't confirm, you'll be considered a bot, and King Sumo will not draw your name inside the drawing. So, and you can enter daily, by the way. After you've done it the first time, you won't have to worry about confirmation. How can a person decide on what's extensive or not when it comes to using AI and reporting it to Amazon when uploading a book? Ooh, I think, Shannon, unfortunately, at this point, it's so ambiguous that I couldn't be able to give you a straightforward answer. And I would be hard pressed to see even the team on KDP. I think they're probably trying to figure those things out. So what I'd say, when in doubt, contact them, reach out to them, see what they think. Because I can give you my opinion, but my opinion is not going to dictate what they do. And I highly recommend that anytime you're having communication with Amazon in some capacity, keep track of every conversation. Keep track of everything. If you get on a phone, ask for a transcript to be sent to your email, that you get everything that you discussed in that conversation. So Hello Kitty should be fine in proper context. The Slow Burn books had a guy hauling around a Hello Kitty backpack across multiple books. If it's a real product, why not? Nice. Thanks for weighing in, Nate. Appreciate it. Yes, Joanna Penn. Folks, go over there. You want more information about AI content? Visit The Creative Pen. So that's at The Creative Pen on YouTube. Miblart giveaway, folks. Dailylinks.com/giveaway. All right. Let's go on over here. I see a couple other questions. If you guys got questions, keep them coming. I won't stop until they're all done. I see there's 130 of them. Kelly, you hear that? There's over 130 people. It was over 155 at one point. All the product descriptions are also included in the AI disclosure. Yes. Yes. Chris, I'm sorry. Could you rephrase that question? I'm not following what you mean there, buddy. I think I wasn't clear, but I think my question's too early. We'll find out later how one gets blacklisted. Yeah. Does GitCovers use AI? I have asked them, Paul, numerous times, because there were some times where some people said in some forums and some community posts, like, here is proof they used AI. And I reached out to Miblart, and every single time they've told me they do not use AI at all. In fact, they actually take umbrage to that. They're like, we do not ever use AI. If they were ever to come out to use artificial intelligence, despite telling me they don't, I would disown them. They would be like that. I love what they do and I love what they put out, but if they were to mislead their customers, including me, into believing that they aren't using artificial intelligence but are, I would be very disappointed. So no, they do not. Do you think there is a problem generating a book description with AI when publishing your book and not get in trouble with Amazon? I think you should be okay, since the description isn't necessarily part of the content. But again, this is one of those instances you're going to want to make sure that you reach out to the KDP team. This is one of the burning questions I have, because honestly, there are times that I just don't want to bother with a book description, and I whip it together and boom, there's a book description. Beautiful, hooray. And the nice thing is you can actually give up the right type of prompts on the type of description you're looking for and the keywords you want to enter with inside your description. So I want to find that out myself. So Factologist, I'm going to try to find out more about that. We're going to get down to the facts. I need to trademark your pen name guidebook. Yeah, you and me both, man. I think it was my browser. I've gotten in, ignore my email, I'm in. Oh, great. Well, I'll still give you a shout out, Shelly. Sorry, did we cover trademarking pen names? Yes, we did briefly kind of cover that there. Again, if you don't want someone taking your IP, it might be a good idea to trademark it, but only do it if you can afford that expense, because it can be costly. How come when I use bullet points on my description, Helium 10 doesn't pick them up and rates my listing lower? I don't know Helium 10 well. I got in touch with the company a few years ago, and I just found that their tool was way too overwhelming for my needs. They cover so much more beyond the world of self-publishing, and I just like to have things cut and dry. This is a huge reason why I'm a huge fan of Publisher Rocket. Publisher Rocket gives me the details that I need to. So sorry, I can't speak on Helium 10. How am I? Learned today. I'm fantastic. Actually, I'm having a great day. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. As an editor, should I be asking an author if they use generated AI content? I guess it wouldn't hurt. But in the same instance, your job as an editor is to make sure things are cleaned up. But in the same instance, if they end up giving you credit as an editor, so in other words, they put credit on the Amazon page or whatever else, or inside the book itself, then it's probably important for you to know whether it's artificial intelligence or not, because obviously your name's going to be associated to something like that. But if you are like my editors that I use. I never give credit to my editors. Sorry, I just don't. I use my editors. I pay them to do their job. I don't pay them extra to give them exposure. How can we get KDP to make an FAQ list for questions related to this new AI policy? What I would say is visit the links down below. There's one that says addition of AI questions to KDP. That leads to the community post. And I'm not sure if it's closed for comments. Let me hit refresh here real quick. And okay, so it doesn't look like you can comment, but what I would recommend is get a hold of them through Contact Us, and you can always start a new thread on the KDP community tab inside your dashboard. So just go to community and you can start up a new one. I guarantee there's probably a dozen posts already about it. Can I generate content from ChatGPT and retype manually? Is it safe this way? It's still AI generated content. I'm sorry. It's still AI generated content either way if you're retyping it. Now, if you're using it as a writing prompt in which you create something else completely different, then that's assistance. But when you're generating it and retyping it, it's still generated content. Sorry, it is overwhelming. Somebody said there. Yeah, it is overwhelming for sure. Hey, Dale, long time. Hey, self-made entrepreneurship channel. What's going on, buddy? How are you doing, man? Big shout out to my boy Healing, man. Great to see you, buddy. I mainly use Publisher Rocket now. I believe no AI detector or person can detect AI work from a professional because AI work is human work. The question is it bad to use paid Canva assets in your cover art? Ooh, Alucard, man. Ooh. I've heard some issues coming from some accounts being closed down that were strictly using Canva to create the assets. Tread with caution when utilizing Canva's assets to publish your works. I think there might actually even be some fine print you're going to probably want to look into that some of that stuff may not be available for commercial use for sale. So just be very, very careful. Unfortunately, again, that's outside my wheelhouse, so I can't speak on it. Sir, when I generate my content with a paraphrase, check for plagiarism and publish, will I still have issues with Amazon? I mean, if you're generating the content, just as long as you're disclosing it. That's really what it comes down to, Ruth. So I would just say if it's generated AI content, disclose it. Whether you're using a human intervention, meaning you bringing in editors to clean it up, make it better, put in a little bit more life to it and more creativity, then yeah, you should probably be fine. But you know, if it's bad writing though, they're going to still strike you down. Either way, they're still going to strike you down. When Publisher Rocket shows the same results for similar keywords, do you think they are glitched? No, not at all. There's a lot of overlap that happens when it comes to relevancy. Has using low competition, high search, green Publisher Rocket keywords on your book title helped you get sales faster? I mean, it's speculative. I mean, I believe it's helped a little bit, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, keywords don't sell books. Humans sell books. You know, so keywords just make your stuff more discoverable. It doesn't sell books. So thinking that you can be able to choose a keyword that is low competition and high demand seems right in practice. But if you don't have the right marketing and promotional tools put in place, it's just not going to work. It won't. If we use an AI generate image for a cover asset, but alter it, add it to, does that count as okay? Yes, again, AI is 100% okay. This is KDP has just said, like clearly. In fact, let me read this answer, this response from KDP. They said, I'm not able to discuss our review processes, but responding that content is AI generated will not prevent authors from publishing with KDP. All they're looking for right now is that you fully disclose that you're using AI in the publishing process. So, so yes, if you've altered it again, if I go here into the dashboard, I can show you here that underneath images, you would select one of these. So let's just say, for instance, you did get an AI generated image for your cover design. And let's say you did extensive editing, you would end up selecting that. Let's say that you didn't do anything other than throw a few words over it, there would be minimal to no editing. So that's just one way to kind of look at it. So what are you thinking about that? What are you think about that, sir? KDP new AI content option, KDP against AI. Why collect data from publishers? Why do you think? I mean, to me, I think they're trying to get a better handle on things. And I imagine there's probably going to be a deeper vetting process. I'd mentioned this towards the end of my whole presentation in talking about this. So if you want to, you can always go backtrack and listen a little bit more about my thoughts on that one. Question, do you order your books and create self-promos for them and post them on TikTok or other platforms? I haven't done TikTok yet. I'm on TikTok, but I have yet to really promote any of my books over in that land. But do I order my own books? Absolutely, for sure, for sure. I've been thinking about trying that instead of paying for Amazon ads. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. It's worth a try, right? If KDP not prohibiting AI content, why they want authors to disclose it? Your opinion? Miss Noor, I would think is they, as mentioned before, they're, let me just go ahead and read this to you again here, because I've said this one. At this time, we are not showing this information to customers, but may choose to do so in the future. So chances are very, very likely that they may end up disclosing this to the general public. So that way, when someone's purchasing a book, they're doing an informed purchase. They know, okay, there's AI. It's disclosed that part of this has been done by artificial intelligence. So why are they asking for it? They're hoping that they're going to get more cooperation from account holders. Now, Ms. Noor, you and I can probably agree, and many other probably can agree, that the bad actors are probably going to say no. They're going to say no every single time because they don't want to get caught. But I think if you're running an above the board, honest business in self-publishing, then disclose it. Disclose it. It is so important. And if you don't know if you have to disclose, reach out to their team. They'll be able to give you a better answer. Have you made a video about what types of marketing you do to lift your KDP sales? Yes, Kristen. Actually, I've got a number of videos on this channel as well as my podcast channel, Self-Publishing with Dale podcast. Go over and visit dalelinks.com/YouTube podcast. I have quite a few deep dives about marketing, but you could also check out, and I'm going to go ahead and post this inside the chat right now. I've got an entire book about it called Promotional Strategies for Books. It is a 4-time award-winning book. You can go visit dalelinks.com/promo book to get yourself a copy today. So dalelinks.com/promo book. Also, when this video is done being live, there should be a carousel that will have all of my ebooks available that you can actually purchase right here. Using Canva comes under AI. If you're utilizing AI within Canva, because Canva does have the AI elements. Dale, thank you for being at the forefront of this conversation, sharing your screen and walking us through the actual drop-down options. Jeannie DeVita, first of all, let me just tell you guys something. This woman's awesome. First of all, I've already kind of indirectly shouted her out. She's my fiction editor. Love this woman to death. She's one of my best friends. The best editors on the face of the planet, a fantastic writer, one of my favorites. But thank you so much for tuning in. I just can't sing enough praises about Jeannie DeVita. She's just a gem. If you guys are ever looking for a great fiction editor, she is one of the, actually she's great editor, period, excuse me. But you're ever looking for a nonfiction fiction editor, she's wonderful, and she's one of the best writing coaches that you will ever have. I always look forward to a session with her. She is just wonderful. Do you think it's advisable to publish AI content books without the fear of account termination in the future? Kilani, this is one that we've been kind of going around and around about since I first started this broadcast at this point. I can only speculate. Me personally, I only lean on AI assistance. I do not lean on AI generation to publish content. I leverage artificial intelligence to assist me, to optimize my workflow, and different things like rephrasing a sentence or searching up a specific fact or trying to give me a different word. There's so many ways you can leverage artificial intelligence that doesn't include generative. So telling a lie to Amazon that your book doesn't have AI but actually has AI, is it nice before someone publish? Joshua, I don't know what you're saying, but I would say don't lie to Amazon because they'll probably find out eventually. Because their vetting system might not be good for AI right now, but I'm sure in due time it's going to get really good. Does she do nonfiction too? Yes, Susan. I'm going to tell you, I highly recommend, definitely get a hold of Jeannie DeVita. You can actually find her at, and let me go ahead, I'm just going to type this real briefly here. Her site is book-genie.com. And this is not a referral link, and I'm not being paid to say it. I just want to share someone who is fantastic and who's been good to me. Bookgenie.com. Go check it out. You can go ahead, type it on up and find her website. So when I signed up for Publisher Rocket, they say use Amazon ads up and down, but otherwise have said to use down only. What works best for you? I do down only or fixed. Up and down is great for blowing through some budget there. I can't seem to get Amazon ads right. It blows my money. It does that for a lot of people. What I would recommend is if you're blowing through your money, the very first thing you need to do is go into the Amazon advertising certification course, take all of their courses, every single one of them. You're going to have such a good idea of how Amazon ads functions as well as the Amazon marketplace itself. I've found out so much information, so much data, and I'm putting a lot of it into my upcoming books. By the way, stay tuned to this channel. There's going to be a Kickstarter campaign here relatively soon. I'm going to be releasing a 6-book series that's going to be available exclusively through Kickstarter. And it will not be available to the public until about another 6 months or more, because the people who go to Kickstarter are going to get all 6 books. The people who wait until it comes out into the market are going to have to wait 1 book at a time. And I think the first book fires off on March 2024, to be honest with you. Do you happen to have videos related to formatting a high content book? And where would you write a fiction book? High content book. You mean nonfiction or fiction books? Yes, there are some videos about formatting and such that you can look into on this channel that you would look at. Now, it's not going to be on the podcast channel since it's mainly just talking content. So what I would recommend is join the Discord community, because you're actually going to get a lot of help and assistance in that area. Do you have a video on how to generate content without AI? Yeah, I mean, just go dip into my backlog. There's a ton of stuff where I talk about outlining books. I talk about writing books. And tomorrow, mark your calendars. There is a link inside the description down below to the video that's going to fire out on 10 crazy ways to write a book. That's going to be the one you're going to want to tune into there, Kalani. Thank you so much for asking. Which courses did you recommend? Didn't catch it. Courses. Oh, the Amazon advertising certification courses. In fact, actually, let me see here. What you want to do is go into your Amazon ads dashboard, top right hand corner, there's a question mark. Hover over top of that. Training courses should pop out and you left click on that. There are some KDP specific ones. Go through those ones first and then go through the other ones as well. A lot of it is going to seem murky as soon as you step out of the waters of KDP, but that's okay. Stick with it because you're going to learn a lot in the process. What's your Kickstarter? I'll let you guys know soon. It's not out yet. It's not out yet. I'm really excited about it. It's just going to be the 6 books right now that's going to be inside the series. This is going to include the self-publishing manual for new authors, the self-publishing manual for authors, Amazon advertising for authors, or for books, excuse me. There is going to be the Publish Wide Guide, the bestseller book launch plan, and how to write a nonfiction book in 24 hours. So, yeah, there's going to be all those ones. And by the way, secret is it's not AI. Always happy to buy your books. Thank you so much, Claire. You're so nice to me. I appreciate it. Ruth, sir, when I generate my content with paraphrase, check for plagiarism, and publish, will I still have issues? You asked this already. I don't know what you're asking. You got to ask in a different way. I don't know what you mean. How do I get reviews for my book? I do an entire book about that. Actually, it's called Amazon Reviews for Books. And this could probably take literally a couple of hours of me covering this type of stuff. So instead, I will send you over to my book at dalelinks.com/Amazon, or excuse me, why don't we go over to Reviews Book. All right, there you go. It will be this link, dalelinks.com/Reviews Book. Go on over there. It's available in every fine retailer. It's also available in libraries, by the way, folks. You can get through Overdrive, Hoopla, Biblioteca, and more. So go ahead and request it at your local library. I did a free book promotion on my last book on Amazon in exchange for readers' review. It's over a month and there are still no reviews. Do you think doing the free book promotion was a mistake? I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but you're going to definitely need to go back and analyze your marketing and promotion. If you just did the free book promo and did no other marketing and promotion outside of that and just relied on Amazon, then there's your mistake. Amazon's not going to push it unless you push it. So you're going to need to do more of that. When you do Kickstarter books, who do you use to print and post them? Right now, I'm tentatively considering Book Vault. I've got a video that's going to be coming out in the next week or so covering Book Vault. I'm really excited about them. They're really, really, really good. Book Vault. By the way, if you do utilize their avenue, you can waive the next upload fees through Book Vault. That's Book Vault like Bank Vault, V-A-U-L-T. But go to Book Vault. Use the upload fee of BV Dale. B as in book, V as in vault, BV Dale, and it'll waive the next 3 upload fees for you. What about YouTube for advertising your books? Oh, yes. Actually, I just did a whole presentation about that over on Lulu. Go on over and visit Lulu's channel on YouTube. There is a full 40-minute presentation about that. How do you feel about Pubby? It's good. It's all right. I don't personally use it because I don't have the time to be reading other people's books. If I'm going to read other people's books, it's going to be books that I'm interested in. So it's good for new authors that are kind of struggling to get reviews. But I'm hearing a lot of pushback through platforms like Pubby and Get Books Reviewed that there just isn't enough books to review and there are enough people reviewing in return. So there's that. To me personally, I just don't have the time for something like that. What advice would you give to a complete beginner on KDP? Things that could generate first sale. You're doing one thing right now, making yourself visible. That's the whole point of marketing and promotion, is being as visible as possible. Whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or anything else like that, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Or you're building out an email list, or you're collaborating with other authors. There's so many ways you can do that. Again, you can go check out my promotional strategies for books to get yourself a little bit more. But as far as getting your first sale goes, get out there. You are the biggest cheerleader for your book. And unfortunately, even though you've published it and you've done everything there is, including getting the right keywords and the right title and everything placed in the right category, it's still up to you to drive traffic and generate more sales. So build awareness. You're going to be the biggest advocate for your book. And when you stop being the advocate for your book is when you stop getting sales. I can guarantee you that, because my fitness books used to sell lots. These days, not so much. I've used Book Vault. They're legit. Lots of cool stuff coming from them, for sure. Do you think companies who take over your Amazon campaigns know something we don't? I mean, if you don't have any experience, this is the reason why I don't hire professionals to do Amazon ads, because I've been doing it for so long. If I were to hire somebody, it's because I've run out of time and I've got a little bit more discretionary expense. But do they know any more than you do? Maybe. I've had a guest here on the channel, Rick Wong, who's actually run numerous successful campaigns for his clients, and he charges a pretty penny for that. But he also recommends, he says, I don't recommend any authors come to get my service until they're making thousands per month in book sales. Because he says it doesn't make sense if you're not generating any type of traction to come over to me, plunk down $800 per month as a minimum, plus ad spend. So if that makes any sense, hopefully that helps out. How's Kelly? Kelly, how are you? She says, great. Sorry to shout into the microphone there, folks. Thanks, I have to go. Much appreciated for your sharing. Thank you. Mushrooms work real well for content generation. I'm not seeing any links in YouTube. John, I'm sorry. Links are inside the description down below. If you're watching right now, if you're watching on the TV, you could probably hit the description there, or you can just get on desktop and you'll be able to find those links later on. So, which, by the way, big shout out to everybody that watches on TVs. I see you guys. I see you. There's a large percentage of you watching TV over on podcasts. What should be the minimum duration for advertising, especially if you are new to publishing? All right, this is my last question here that I'll be covering here. If it's regarding AI, we'll continue to do so. There's about 130 still people here. So pop in, wave, say hi, everybody. This is my wife, Kelly.
Hi. I don't know where I'm supposed to look.
That camera right there.
I think I did.
But what should be the minimum duration for advertising, especially if you are new to publishing? Minimum duration, I do open-ended campaigns. What I would recommend to you, Miss Noor, is there's actually a full tutorial for Amazon ads on this channel. I did about a month or two ago. Go back and review that. That's a great one. And also go check out the Amazon advertising certification courses. Those are really, really good. They're dead simple, but they break it down in such a helpful and meaningful way. All right, just as a quick summary, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I do appreciate each and every single one of you out there. Again, remember, don't panic at this point. You have questions, drop them here inside the comments, and also reach out to KDP inside the contact us. One of the best ways to communicate with them is through phone. So if you get the phone option, use it. Get the email option, be prepared. You might get a boilerplate response. It happens. Big shout out to the fine folks over at Dibbly. Dibbly Create. Dibbly Create is the word processor I've been using. They're sponsors here of this channel. You can get free or premium access. In fact, they're even offering a free 7-day free trial of the professional plan when you visit dalelinks.com/dibblycreate. is really awesome. I've been using the heck out of it. It is something I've been using for AI assistance for a while here. You can join the channel memberships by clicking that link. You can't do it on the screen, but there's a join down below or even down inside the thing down there. And also enter for a chance to win the Miblart Premium cover design that does not have AI in it. All right. They do not run AI at all. They have sworn to me that is not part of their system and they do not like it and approve of it. So you can go over, enter for a chance to win Miblart's premium cover design giveaway when you go to dalehanks.com/giveaway. Alrighty, so if you're selling thousands, why would you need to hire someone to do ads? Time. Sometimes it's just a time of sitting down and managing those things. So when you get to that point, sometimes you would rather just focus on things like writing or marketing in other avenues. How do you keep your book publishing and book writing and still maintain a huge career in representing self-published authors? I don't know. I was talking to my therapist about that today. It's tough. It's tough. You never find a perfect balance, but you just try your best. And of course, folks, join me over on the Discord community, dalehanks.com/Discord, and feel free to ping me over on Discord. Please no DMs on Discord. Just keep all the chat over inside the main community area. That would be so helpful. I get a lot of DMs and a lot of emails, and it's very overwhelming. And as Sloth Dreams kind of puts it, it becomes a bit overwhelming. All right. And Kaylee Rose, thank you so much for becoming a channel member, the podcast patron. I appreciate you so much. I'm just going to do a quick scroll through and see if there are any other questions here. When an account is terminated, can someone send an apology message to Amazon, or is there any requirement someone needs to do for the account to be reopened? Joshua, yeah, you definitely want to do an apology message for sure. But what I would say is instead of incriminating yourself by apologizing, find out why they closed down your account first and what you can do to resolve the issue. There's going to be a lot of back and forth dialogue. This is one of the reasons why I recommend to everybody that you join the Alliance of Independent Authors, a great organization, by the way, that represents authors in instances of wrongful account terminations. Keyword, wrongful account terminations. You can take a look over at Ally. The memberships you want to look into is the authorpreneur membership. And there are many other benefits that you can utilize with them. So it is dalehanks.com/ally. This is an affiliate link here, folks. So if you do click on it, you do make a purchase, I do get some sales kicked back to me as well. So it's not a requirement, but what I would say is if you want an insurance policy, join the Alliance of Independent Authors. And also they have a number of other perks, including some of their great resources, their weekly emails that they put out. There are great blog posts. There are even some discounts made available exclusive just to the Alliance of Independent Author members. That's not inside the description, so you might have to hand key that in there, or if you're watching this live, you can also click on my comment there. Let me drop this in here really quick here. I'm going to put this over into the podcast channel as well. Here we go. So there, it's in the podcast channel as well, so you guys have that there. All right, this will be my last question. You've talked about KDP, but should we expect to have the same thing from other publishers like Kobo and such? I would imagine so. I'm kind of surprised that KDP is the first to step up and do this, because they're usually the last to step up to something like this. I mean, they were one of the last companies to recognize low content books, to acknowledge them. So it's kind of cool to see them jump on things and get on top of it. I can't find the Amazon certification course. Is it the AWS? I just see videos on YouTube about it. Jess, you need to go into your Amazon advertising dashboard itself. So you need to get logged into there and everything. And in the top right-hand corner of your dashboard is a question mark. In that question mark, you're going to left click on it, drop down, it says training courses. So let me see if I can pull this open and I can try to find this here for you. So you'll want to go, it'll look like this when you go officially to it. So again, question mark, top right hand corner, it'll open this up. Welcome to the Amazon Ads dashboard, and you have a ton you can peruse through. There's certifications as well that'll kind of break it down so you have a better idea. I recommend starting with the sponsored ads certification one first, because that is the one you're going to be utilizing the most. So that'll be all my answers for things regarding the Amazon ads. My KDP terminated a week ago. maybe because DeepL for translation, twas not forbidden. They keep royalties for the last 2 months, and also I've paid Amazon ads. Is that legal? Jesus, I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry, buddy. If you've been terminated and they're withholding, then chances are very likely they are feeling there's some shenanigans going on with your account. So you're going to need to get with them and probably even contact a lawyer if you need to get that stuff resolved. As a member of Ally, you probably could have reached out to them by now to get that all sorted out. So, all right. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the broadcast. I want to thank each and every single one of you for tuning in. It means the world to me that you invest your trust and your time in me, and it means the world that you actually showed up in just droves. Just amazing. I'm drenched in sweat, by the way. My entire back of my shirt is soaking right now. Most likely, I'm just going to celebrate with a nice little lunch. Until then, I want to thank every one of you, and including my channel members that I'm going to mention here in just a second. Till later, share this with somebody that will enjoy it too. Take care, folks, and I will update you as soon as I hear some more information.